All right, what's up, you guys? UFO Proof here, along with our boys QVid and Raphael. What's up, you guys?
Yo,
Hey, hey.
Hey, we might have some other guests joining us later. Welcome to the UAP Roundtable, where we discuss UFOs, UAPs, ancient civilizations, all that good shit. Uh, and I guess we have quite a bit going on lately in the UFO world, as everyone knows. Um, the UFO report got released back in June, just a little over 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and I know some people, we were discussing this at one point, uh, but Q, I wanted to get your opinion on what do you think the UFO report that Congress got, the classified one? What do you think? Do you think that that's going to be leaked to us? Do you think we're ever going to get a chance to see that?
I would certainly hope so. But I think if we find out about it, it will be a leak. I don't think it'll be one where they allow it to be leaked specifically, because I'm not
Like some
sure.
intern's going to leak it for real?
Yeah. I don't know
What
how
up,
I
Derek?
feel about all these people that come out and say, "Oh yeah, this, that, and the other is being leaked." Um, I'd love to see it. I would love to see it because the bullshit they showed us wasn't worth anything. It was an absolute waste
Yeah.
of time.
Well, I mean, if you read between the lines, it's really good, but it's still, even with reading between the lines, there's just not enough to go on. There's so much more there that you want that they're not letting us have, and that's what's aggravating, because there's so much more, incredible data there that I'd love to take a look at. And obviously the Congress people got it, and because it was put in with the budget, the Pentagon was forced to basically tell them everything. So I'm wondering if they, in that report, if they reported on like the goings ons at S4 and like their reverse engineering um craft and stuff like Bob Lazar worked on. I wonder if that's brought up uh in their classified report, simply because the way they had it um written out, the way it was, written, the law was saying that they want everything, all the information that they have pertaining to UAPs or UFOs. And you would consider that, well, that's got to be a big fucking part of it. What up, Harry Toe? Is if we have a craft from another planet that we're reverse engineering, that you would think that that would be part of the UFO stuff that they would want information on. I'm just wondering if they could even give it to them, or if they would have to keep that classified as well. Uh, that's that's what gets me. I'd love to fucking see it, uh, and I'm hoping that one of these interns, someone from Congress, is going to leak it out. You know
Do you
what
think
happened to
those?
Raphael? Oh, go
He's
ahead.
just said, "Oops," so he's probably pressed the wrong thing. Trying
Haha.
to log in, removes from the session. Right, yeah, he's messed up. He'll probably be in. He'll be backstage probably in a minute. He's
Oh,
still
okay.
got the link.
Yeah.
Um, do you think those ordinary
yo, I
politicians, though?
fucked up.
Yeah, it's okay.
Do you think those ordinary politicians get to see the good shit, though?
Yeah, I would think that, okay, when it comes to like the budget committee and stuff like that, and the intelligence guys, even though in Congress these guys are not part of the military, even though they're not part of it, and they understand that the military and the Joint Chiefs of Staff, they definitely understand that the what matters most is their money, is the funding, and that it's Congress, is they're the wallet, all right, they're the bank. And as much as these guys might want to keep secrets from each other, or keep information classified, or only let select people know about it, when it comes down to it, at the end of the day, none of these guys are going to do that shit for free. You understand? None of the joint chiefs, none of these people in the military are going to go and do this shit and go get up every day and go to work and be yelled at and screamed at, told what to do and not get paid. They're not going to do it for free. Every one of them has their own mouth to feed, plus a family to feed. They got to keep a roof over their head. They all have to get paid. And if they're not getting paid, they're not just going to come into work every day and just not get paid. They're going to have to go find some place where they can make money. So money is the key factor here, that they have to have that money. And when Congress says, listen, you tell us everything about UFOs and everything that you know, or you don't get your money. And so, I mean, like, really, I don't see, because I could see sometimes them being like, well, you know what, in this case, maybe it's we might, enact like plausible deniability, where we want to keep information from the president, and so we're just not going to tell him because we have to give him we have to let the world have a shadow, have a reason to believe that he might not know about it and give him plausible deniability, and so they might not tell the president some certain things. But I think in this instance, if they happen to come out with everything and their entire budget depends on it, that they probably gave them a really thorough report on all the information that they have, and that there's probably a lot of stuff that's left out of it. Now, I don't think there's going to be everything in there for the congressmen, just because they're not military people. So a lot of, there's probably odds and ends that probably make no difference to them. But it's probably a big deal to UFO researchers or people in the military, because there's probably a lot of stuff in there that the Congress people probably don't even understand. And but it's going to be a real detailed report. That's for sure. Especially with all the stuff just in the one they released to the public, just all the stuff that's in there lets you know that classified report that they got is just loaded with fucking bombshells of excellent data, dude. I guarantee you there's more than enough data in there to come out and say that UFOs are most likely from another planet. Or maybe not even that, but as in UFOs are definitely, there's no question about them anymore. And I think they should have made that a point in the original report that they released, that they left it up to could it be another foreign country? Could it be a different technology or whatever? And then they had the other department where it could be something else. They should have just come out and said that straight up, UFOs are no longer to be considered a myth, are no longer to be considered, some kind of fanciful tale or some kind of legend that people had made up. And it's not like Santa Claus. It's not the fucking, this is a real scientific thing that needs to be looked at in a scientific mindset. It needs to be studied and researched, and fuck all the the bullshit, trying to belittle people and saying, oh, little green men and tinfoil hat wearing crazies and shit like that. They should have come out and straight up said that, what, they were right. Unfortunately, and as stupid as it makes us look, the goddamn fucking asshole, wearing the tinfoil hat on his head was fucking correct. In this one instance, they were correct. Hey, what up, Mario UFO? Thank you for the super chat. Love it, buddy. Hi, Kyle. Hi, guys. We're never going to see it, though. That's what we're talking about, though. I think someone eventually will leak it out. If it got into Congress, then Congress leaks like a fucking sieve. And that's just a fact. The military, it doesn't, that, they can do a pretty good job at, plugging up any leaks that they have. But Congress, impossible. If Congress has it, then it will get leaked eventually. What up, Jason? Or Justin AD, how you doing, buddy? Ralph, what do you think?
Well, if it's gonna be leaked, maybe some hacker guys, some UFO nuts that hack into the stuff or into some intern PC or something like that. And possibilities are all open. So
Well, I'm just saying, I mean, it doesn't really matter who fucking releases it. I'm just saying, what do you think the report consists of? Do you think it consists of good information or just,
well, I don't
more
think
of them trying
there's
to, explain it away?
Yeah, I think more explaining it away or stuff like that. Because if if you look at the last report or the last when they came out, they just I don't think it was pretty massive, or the information that was in it. It was most stuff was just, well, we don't know what it is, but
Oh, I mean, that's the thing. Like, if you read between the lines, what up, Cyrus? If you read between the lines on the UFO report, you realize how much more it has to be with the actual report that Congress got, the full report. That there's so much more going on there. They're only giving you little snippets of information, and so in Congress's report, I mean, it's got to be loaded with all kinds of good stuff. And like I was trying to explain to people that there is nothing that could happen, basically, that could give the Pentagon the you know right to come out and say UFOs or UAPs are extraterrestrial, simply because everything that we gather, all the evidence that we gather from them, all of it takes place here on Earth. And because of that fact, there is never going to be enough evidence saying that they are extraterrestrial. The only way you could do that, the only way to have that 100% evidence is if you were to literally follow a UFO back to its home planet, and then you could see it on the home planet and know that it came from there. Only then could you make that assertion. Before that, there's, you could never say that. So, for people thinking, oh, disclosure's got to be the government coming out saying that UAPs exist and are extraterrestrial. That will never happen, simply because it's basically impossible for it to happen unless we follow a UFO back to its home world. Then there'll never be, even if we fucking catch an alien, even if he lands on the White House lawn and gets out and says, I'm from another planet, he could be lying. You get what I'm saying? That there's never going to be enough evidence to say that yes, this is 100% for sure from another planet. So you're never going to get that kind of disclosure. It's just not going to happen. So the disclosure that we are getting, that's the best we can fucking hope for. And which kind of sucks because we're actually getting it. And what happens in the UFO world? Next thing you know, all of us turn on the people who are trying to fucking get the information released. And then everyone's like, oh, yeah, these guys are all fucking, shills for the government and, blah, blah, blah. And people are talking shit about, fucking Elizondo and To the Stars Academy and all that shit, dude. And all the guys who finally come out and actually make it a point to get this shit released and have the Pentagon admit that UFOs are in fact real. And no, none of it, like half of us don't believe them. It's fucking it's frustrating. I still I don't understand it. Maybe Q can explain it because I know he's on that side where he hates Elizondo and all those fucking guys, man. And I know a lot of people I don't understand it, but Q, why don't you explain?
Well, I just think they're all full of shit. I really do. I think, well, you know my feeling on Lou.
Yeah,
As I've said, his name sums him up. Um,
but it literally makes no sense to me.
I just I don't get why people will come out and say, yeah, I know all this stuff, but I'm not prepared to tell you everything.
Well,
But
they're not
what I
allowed to tell you. You know.
So why fucking tell us anything?
What do you mean? He told you as much as he could. He's
Which
like,
was
this is as
basic,
much as I can. No, that's
which
basically a
was
lot. They brought out the videos. They got the Pentagon to
well,
admit it. They got the Navy to admit it. I mean, like,
but
fucking, what have you done? Have you done anything like that and gotten the fucking government to come out and admit it? No.
no,
So these guys did. They
no,
did a good job at it. What's
but
wrong with Go ahead.
but
Go
it
ahead.
it's his terminology. It's the way he talks as well. He talks like a fucking politician. He gets asked a simple question, and he dodges the bullet all the time. You know, and it's not just Lou. There's so
Hmm.
many of them out there. I mean, at one time, I used to think Greer had a lot of interesting stuff to say, but he's gone completely fucking AWOL,
Yeah,
I'll summon a
correct.
UFO, and then we've got the fucking balloon summoner. And
Hmm.
I put all of these people into the same fucking pot until they're able to actually tell us something decent. Then they may as well. They're just like you or I. It's like me coming on and saying, "Oh well, I've read documents that prove that anti-gravity technology has been used by the government,
Hmm.
um, and I know this for a fact." So you ask me,
Yeah,
how do I know? Oh, well, I can't talk about that. Sorry.
yeah. Okay, well, so I understand in that situation, but like with Lou Elizondo, he's not doing stuff like that. He's coming out and telling you exactly what he knows and what he can tell you. And the stuff that if he gets asked a question where it's, obviously he's going to be releasing, um, uh, top secret information, that he makes it a point to not say anything and say, I can't discuss that or whatever. I mean, some stuff has to be, has to stay classified. I understand that. We have to have our
Yeah,
secrets. So I mean, why hold that against Lou when he's, you know he did come out and fucking and admit that he, was the director of this program, and that they have a lot of information, that the government has really good UFO videos, that with the evidence that he's seen so far, that we might not be alone. I mean, he fucking I don't see him coming out there and doing shit like where he's like, oh well, I can't discuss that because he doesn't know, or because he's lying. He says it because he's not allowed to discuss it. But
okay,
he's done
well,
a good job at. Go ahead.
let me ask you one question then, Carl.
Hmm.
Tell me what the 5 observables are.
The five observables. What, you don't know them?
I do.
Yeah. I forget what they all are.
Right.
Hypersonic travel, anti-gravity propulsion, transmedium travel. Um, what up, Harry Toe? Hey, thank you for the fucking super chat. You're the man, buddy. Um, and uh, I forget
Right.
what am I missing?
Anti-gravity lift.
Yeah,
Sudden and instantaneous acceleration.
acceleration. That's it. Yeah.
Hypersonic velocities without signatures. Low
Mhm.
observability. I always fuck up that word. Without or cloaking, and transmedium travel. Now, when
Yeah.
Lou, a fucking director of ATIP, was being interviewed by the Washington Post, he named 4 of the observables, and he said hypersonic velocity is the first one. The second one is hypersonic velocity. So he said the same thing fucking twice. He said the third one was low observability or cloaking,
Hmm.
and the fourth one was transmedium travel. So out of the 5 observables, a director of ATIP
Hmm.
said 4 things, and one of them he mentioned fucking twice. So in actual fact, he was only able to name 3 of them. He was a fucking director of ATIP. He should know
Hmm.
the 5 observables like the
He
back
does.
of
He's the
his
one who helped put them
fucking hand.
together.
So why couldn't he say the 5 when he was doing a fucking interview with the Washington Post? I did a
Makes
video
this
where
How?
I
questionable.
fucking called
Yeah,
him
but
out.
how do you
So,
know fucking Washington Post didn't fucking get it wrong, dude?
oh no, it wasn't cut. It was not cut. It
You
was
know?
him speaking on camera, live to whatever the lady's name was, and he was
Yeah.
only able to name 3 of the 5, and he named hypersonic velocity twice. Now,
Yeah, but that's
I would expect him to be able to get that right, and the fact that he was unable to get that right just makes me lose all faith with the guy. I mean,
are you kidding
you
me?
know,
So the fact so he's doing an interview, and he's sitting there trying to fucking discuss something. He's going over the five observables, and he's just kind of, you know, just kind of conversating about it. And because
Well,
he didn't
he was
fucking
he was
go
trying to go into
because
them in
of that, you
detail.
lose credibility. Like
But
that
yeah,
looks like that's such a cheap fucking. That's just like that is no reason to say that this guy is like bad in the UFO community. I mean, just because he didn't go
I'm
into all
I'm
five,
not saying
like
he's bad. I'm just saying he talks shit.
what's he? I don't understand. Like, what's he shit talking about? You know, like
Well, he
it-
talks shit when he can't name the 5 fucking observables of a program that he is the director of. That
so
that
yeah, but
that's
what was the
pissed
question? You
off.
know, like what did she ask him? Like what did she ask him to fucking to name all five and give me specific details on each one, or did
No,
she was were they what's the context to that? You know, because every time I've heard him, he has named all five of the observables every time.
she
So
was talking to him, and he was talking about while he was a director at ATIP. And he said
yeah.
that they had 5 things that if an object showed any of these characteristics, it showed that it was an object of interest. And he said, and we always follow what we call the 5 observables. And the
Hmm.
first observable is hypersonic velocity. The second observable is hypersonic velocity. The third
Okay, so
observable,
so a
he
fucking a
completely
mistake in what he's
fucked it up.
saying. He's in an interview, dude. Like he could have been nervous. I mean, like there's a million things, dude. That's you're saying that's a reason to just discredit everything that he's saying.
No, that's a reason to lose a little bit of faith in the guy. And yeah, I
Really?
think that's I think that's a good
So if
reason.
you fucked up in an interview on here, motherfucker, and you fucking
I
say something and
always
you
fuck
fucking
up.
make a mistake, yeah. So you people should just lose all fucking credibility. Like people should lose faith in what you're saying just because you fucking forgot to say something or made a fucking mistake while you were talking.
Probably
That
most
doesn't make
people
the
on here
slight
don't listen to
that
me
doesn't make the
anyway.
slightest bit of sense though. I mean, like
No,
for real,
I
you
just
know.
don't think that I don't think that was an acceptable mistake. Plus,
I think
I
now,
just
you know what
think
I think?
I
I
think
think
he's a
you're
shady
reaching.
fuck.
You're fucking reaching and for anything to find to fucking put him down. And if that's the best you got, then you got nothing. That's all I gotta say. If
I
that's
would
all you got, then you got
I would
nothing.
I would love to believe the guy. I would love to believe the guy.
No, you
And I
fucking what? And
oh
you
yeah,
have every
I would.
you're more than able to fucking believe him. You could just take the facts as facts instead of oh well, he fucking stuttered when he said a word, so obviously he's fucking lying.
That wasn't a stutter. Not being able to name 2 of the observables is not a
Like
stutter.
really, yeah, but I mean that is a simple fucking mistake, obviously, and fucking it's like he's in the middle of an interview, and he's fucking and he might not have remembered what he was saying. So fucking what? Like that does
Nah,
how does that pertain to what he's done in bringing out fucking UFO information and helping it get released and helping Congress get reported on it and getting this shit released, the Pentagon to release it and admit to it and him and all those guys over there, they all did a great job at doing that shit. And I don't see, I just see a bunch of haters, is what I see. I see a bunch of fucking haters for for no reason. Like they did a good fucking job. Like I mean this shit that we've been wanting to do, they actually got done. And we should be fucking supporting them, not fucking sitting there bad mouthing them. It just makes our whole community like look like we can't be taken seriously at all because we finally get what we want, and that's not good enough for us. Like we're all like, oh, now we gotta talk shit about these guys and talk shit about these guys. And it's like, listen, this is all they did. They didn't do anything else. They didn't put out any hoax videos. They didn't try. All they did was help get this shit released and get the government to admit to it. And yet we're going to fucking hate on them for it. Like, what did they do that's so fucking shady? Nothing. They didn't do anything except fucking exactly what we've been wanting to do this whole time.
That
but
kind of gets to my point, though, that I
the
was
government
making
haven't
the other night.
admitted to frig all. The government haven't admitted to frig
Wait.
all.
So what we're saying, Cyrus?
So
Yeah,
we
no, the
know
Pentagon admitted to it.
in the 1960s, the Pentagon had Project Blue Book, and the kind of secret goal of Project Blue Book was to get the public uninterested in UFOs and make it look like UFOs was something that wasn't worthy of scientific study. That was kind of the hidden goal of Project Blue Book. We know that now.
Project Grudge.
Project Grudge before that, yeah, in the 50s.
Yeah.
And Sign. And then in the 1980s, we have Richard Doty, who drives this poor guy crazy to the point that they have to put him in a mental hospital.
Yeah,
and
Paul Benowitz.
And he was a patriot and a government contractor. And if they had just told him, hey, the stuff that you're taking pictures of is a classified technology. It hurts national security. We don't want this stuff revealed to the Soviet Union. Just knock it off. He would have done it. That's all they had to tell him. But instead, they led him on with all this baloney. And then they drop all this crap about MJ-12, which we know was a hoax. And all of that was to make people think that advanced technologies that the Air Force was using in the Cold War was actually alien spaceships. It was all a distraction. So why all of a sudden, and I'm not saying I 100% agree with this, but I think it's a valid point, and I think we should tread very cautiously. Why would the federal government all of a sudden do a 180-degree turn on UFOs when they've never been honest about it in the past? And I'm saying this as a guy who, I'm a patriot too, and I was a Fed for over 20 years. Why would the American intelligence community all of a sudden do a 180-degree turn? Okay, well, we'll be honest now. Here's everything we actually know. And here's Lou Elizondo, and he's going to tell you.
So you think that this is all of a sudden? It's all of a sudden, not counting the how many fucking years, not the 70 plus years that they've been fucking denying it. And you're saying it's all of a sudden. That's not all of a sudden. It's like fucking 70, 80 years of fucking denial. And we finally got them to admit to it.
But why the turnaround?
I think because I think as people age and fucking the Congress ages, and you have the older people getting out of it and younger people coming in, then you start getting new and different ideas and different goals and shit like that. And now is a time where there were just the right people in Congress and the right people in the Pentagon and in the Joint Chiefs and stuff who are saying, you know what? Okay, it is time for it. And then so let's just go ahead and admit to it. And especially because if they're having issues where our pilots aren't going to report strange craft because they're afraid of being looked at like they're crazy, and we could have Russia or China making different kinds of drones and shit that our guys are refusing to report. So maybe the only thing we're forced to fucking do it because of shit like that. Who knows? But to say that all of a sudden, it's not all of a sudden. We've been dealing with this forever trying to get them to do it, and we finally got them to do it.
I remember coming on. We did a stream the night that story was in the Washington Post, and that came out of nowhere. Like, it was the last thing. Like, do you remember how stagnant the UFO community was before? When did all that come out? 2017?
2017. Yeah.
Like, all we had was fucking lame ass documentaries on the History Channel recycling the same old sightings over and over and over and over again, and most of them were more than 20 years old at that point. And then out of nowhere comes this story in the Washington Post and the New York Times.
Yeah.
And we get Lou Elizondo and A-Tip and all the other stuff. But that, from my point of view, that came out of left field. I didn't expect something like that to happen at all.
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like it's bound to fucking, it's got to happen. If we're wanting it to happen, okay, well, then that's how it happens. It's not like you're going to get, they're not going to be like, oh, well, we're going to prep you guys for, eventual, we're going to let you guys know now that in the future, we're going to let you know something about UFOs. Like, they're not going to do something like that. They're just going to come out and say it if they're going to do it at all,
Yeah.
now hang on a second. Now, I gotta say what's up to Alex, who is our other co-host on the UAP Roundtable. Unfortunately, Alex is not able to join us today because he is in Mexico or on his way to Mexico. But I do see him in the chat, so I want to wish him love. And that's our brother, and he is the other member up on the panel, like a full-time member. But I just want to say what's up to him. And I see Third Phase of Moon is here. What's up, you guys? Hopefully you guys are having a safe trip. They are traveling across country, headed to Washington, D.C. to talk to Dr. Greer, I believe, and maybe some other people. Something
town,
like
huh?
that. Heading towards
Heading up to
Cyrus's
my neck of the
hometown.
woods. Yeah.
And now, Third Phase of Moon has said in the comments, they said, we asked Lou Elizondo if he asked Lockheed Martin if they had a Tic Tac in their possession. He declined to tell us what they said to him. That is true. I did ask when he did ask him that, and that kind of information was in fact classified. He wasn't able to answer it. He had to go ahead and go past that question. I did see that, and that is true. But that's the thing, they might have had a Tic Tac or something resembling a Tic Tac in their possession. In fact, I put out a video called Quantum UFOs where I was showing some advanced drones that the DARPA was inventing years and years ago, and it was like how a drone is controlled, but with they were using little jets on these things that would actually shoot missiles or lasers or whatever, and they could move in any fucking direction, like they could move all crazy style, and do it really fast too. I mean, they look like little UFOs out there flying around. So you might not they might not want to give away information like that. They might have had something a little more advanced since then. But I don't think that any of that stuff, I don't think really matters. Like holding the fact that he has, security clearance, I don't think should be held against him. And in fact, I think that we should fucking look at that and say he has a security clearance and he's still willing to come out and share as much information with us as he possibly can without breaking it. And he's risking a lot doing what he's doing. That should be applauded, not fucking, not looked at like, oh, this guy's some fucking jerk. Like, I just don't understand it. They're doing everything that we wanted them to do. They're not doing anything shady. I mean, like fucking every time I ask somebody, tell me what they're doing wrong, and no one can name anything except for, just like hater comments, just like shit like, oh, well, fucking, he came into that one interview and farted and now I fucking hate him for life. Like, it's like, well, how is that relevant? Like, how does that fucking matter? No one ever comes out and says, oh, he lied about this and he did this and something that actually, makes it so he deserves for us to fucking hate on him. There's nothing. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't get it. It blows me away that everyone can hate on somebody who's doing exactly what we wanted them to do.
By the way, Harry Toe, this is Sam Adams Summer Ale.
Carl, in the same interview, he also went on to say that he didn't want to break. He wasn't not breaking his non-disclosure act agreement with the government because he would be breaking it with the government. The reason he wasn't breaking his non-disclosure was because he didn't want to let down the American public. Now, they were his words. Yeah. I am paraphrasing him, but they were his words, and it was in the exact same thing. So if he doesn't want to break his non-disclosure and he doesn't want to tell us anything that would break his trust in the American people, whatever that was supposed to mean.
Well, he's got a security clearance.
Is he doing anything?
Because he's doing as much as he can, but there's a point where it gets to where he's like, well, there's stuff I can't tell you because it's illegal. It's a crime for me to say it.
Okay, so
let me tell you as much as I can.
Okay, so the 3 pieces of footage he's been apparently allowed to show us them. So why can't he tell us a little bit more about them? You know, there's supposed to be this high resolution footage out there. We were
There is.
obviously only seeing snippets of the
Mhm.
full footage. Well, if he's been allowed to show us that particular object, whether it be the Tic Tac or the gimbal or the Go
Yeah.
Fast, why can't he tell us more about that specific thing when he's already showing us the video? Why can't he
Well, I
talk
mean,
about the video?
he
Why
can. He
can't he go
does.
into? Well, he
He
doesn't.
does
He
talk
tells
about the
us
video.
nothing. He tells us nothing.
What do you mean? Like he tells you as much as he can. In fact,
But
it's like
surely he
it's
can
through
tell us
him.
more. If he's showing
Well,
the actual footage, he should be able
well,
to
that's the
tell us
thing.
more.
He can show like the clip that they show you of the Tic Tac. That only shows you so much. It shows it do a little maneuver, and it shows it take zipping away and stuff. But other than that, you really can't make out any fucking detail. But he also came out and said that he's like, that's not the only video we have of them. There's other video from other craft that took it and recorded it, and then recording on radar and stuff like that. And he's like, and we have high definition video of it where you could see that the Tic Tac was not just a straight cylindrical Tic Tac, but in fact did have appendages coming off the bottom of it that looked like little L's. Um, I mean, like, so he right there, he's going and admitting to stuff that we didn't know about the video. He went and told us that, look, there's actually higher quality video that you can see that the craft isn't just a straight tube, but does in fact have little appendages going off of it. So, I mean, he did come out and say more than what was, as much as he could anyway.
Cal,
You
you have
know,
to put Third Phase's last comment up on screen. That is awesome.
let me see it.
We invited Lou to have a discussion with
Here we
Dr.
go.
Greer.
We invited Lou to have a discussion with Dr. Greer. Lou replied, I don't negotiate with terrorists. I love it.
That's pretty good. I gotta give him
That's
props on
funny.
that. Cheers, sir.
That's fucking right, dude. I mean, think about that. The way fucking, I mean, well, maybe he just doesn't want to get assassinated, by fucking associating himself with Dr. Greer. He could have assassins after him, Uh, yeah, but that's the thing. You got Dr. Greer. He's going off on Lou Elizondo. That Lou Elizondo is, he's like the starter of fucking the the fake alien invasion hoax. And that the weaponized space and like he's putting all that shit and giving it a face, and it happens to be Lou's face, saying that this guy is, the guy who's going to start the fucking the fake alien invasion hoax that they're going to use to fucking control us and shit like that. It's like they start fucking reaching into whole fucking levels and hypotheticals and shit. So it's like, that's where you get me, dude, when you start having discussions and starting shit with people and talking shit about something that is purely hypothetical. He's sitting there giving fucking Lil Elizondo a hard time about something that is that is hypothetical, that is not fucking real, that is something that he believes may happen in the future. Okay, he's getting mad at a prediction that the guy is making. Nothing more than that. Is nothing more than a fucking a what if. He's simply making a prediction of what might happen in the future, and then attacking Lou over it, like, oh, yeah, Lou's gonna bring the fucking the alien invasion hoax or whatever. Like he's gonna start all this shit. Like, really, it's the guy's done everything that we're trying to do, that we've been trying to do, and they did a good job at it. Other than that, he hasn't done anything wrong for me to see, to say anything bad about the guy. And if I was him, I don't know if I would have a discussion with Dr. Greer either, just because you can never win an argument with an idiot. All right. It will never fucking happen. And when you got someone who will sit there and straight up on camera sit there and say, oh, well, I was meditating and that's when I started to levitate off the ground and shit like that. When you have a dude who's claiming that he can fly, there's just, there's one
There are a
one
few
of
of
them you
those
can take
around.
serious. Yeah, one of these guys you can take seriously. The other guy, you can't. You got to take him with a grain of salt, and that's the difference. Is Lou, you can take seriously. Dr. Greer, you got to take him with a grain of salt, because he says stuff like this. Like, half the shit he says is really good, and then the other half is bullshit. And that's why, you guys know how I felt about Greer for a long time. But I've never said that Greer is a liar when it comes to like CE5 and shit like that. I've always said that, no, that is real, okay, but when you start making up bullshit like this and trying to make it all about yourself, like he's the fucking this leader who's got classified information, and I'm debriefing the head of the CIA. You're not debriefing anybody, dude. You don't even have a brief, all right? Shut the fuck up, dude. You're not coming in there and telling the fucking CIA director. You ain't got fucking a debrief. You're not debriefing the president. You're just telling them stories. That's not debriefing somebody, but you make it sound like you're in there, like you're a super important in that. Oh, I have all this classified information that I have to teach to the CIA because they don't know this, because I'm the smartest man in the world and I know this, but they don't. And it's just like, all right, man, now you're going too fucking far with it now.
Okay, so
And yeah,
who else in the community do you think has helped the community on the whole?
another person I think a lot of people hate too is Tom DeLonge. Everyone hates on him too. I understand it. But the truth is, when I look at it, I pull myself out of it, take myself out of the equation and just look at, the variables. And I can see that what he did was a good thing for the UFO community. And,
Yeah,
and he
all those
did
good
help in
things.
the end, you know, and he gets hated on like a motherfucker. I understand, but that the truth is he really did help, do a lot for the UFO community, help bring this shit out to the forefront. He helped get it put into the New York Times. I mean, what more can you say?
Well, how do you feel about him getting UFO researcher that year, when we all know that Tyler of Suck Your Team should have got it?
Oh, well, obviously fucking Tyler should have gotten that fucking award. Or myself. um you know what, that's the I got to agree with Tyler on that one. I don't think that um he should have been given the Researcher of the Year award, only because at that time they had not released fucking the New York Times story hadn't appeared yet, you know? And so it's like, at that point, what did he do for the UFO community? I didn't even know he was in the UFO community. The only thing that brought him into it was the fucking Podesta leaks. John Podesta's emails got leaked, and there were people could see that there were conversations between Podesta and Tom DeLonge about UFOs. So next thing you know, you come to find out that he is just like we are. He's been a UFO researcher for a long time, and he just had better connections than most of us have. He just had really high up connections. But and I guess so. I guess he was a researcher, but I don't think he should be given Researcher of the Year award, because I'm like, what the hell did he do at that point besides them fucking emails? Discussing UFOs. Yes, I know that he was putting together to the Stars Academy, and they were helping getting the New York Times story to be released and the videos to be released. But at that time, nobody knew that. And so I don't think he should have gotten, I don't think he deserved that award at that time, personally.
What do you think, Raf? You're awfully quiet sitting in the corner there.
That's because he's got his fucking clothes on.
No, he's keeping his head down. He's staying out of the firing line. Come on, Raf, we want to hear from you.
Yeah, it's kind of late. I'm tired. No, well, what did I say? Tom DeLonge. Yeah, I think he went for the ride for some publicity and a nice paycheck, and now, yeah, like like Alex said, that's
Why don't you read out what he says? So Alex was saying, but seriously, I think Tom got a paycheck and put to the side, and Lou certainly left Tom in his UAP dust. That's right, man. And he wasn't even supposed to know Lou Elizondo's name. You know, he was fucking figuring out, you know, that the program existed and shit, but he didn't know the director. And then he got Elizondo's name and got in contact with him. You know, but that shit was all supposed to be fucking super secret, but with his fucking contacts, you know. Well, what do you guys think about Christopher Mellon,
I gotta
the
remember who
former
that
defense?
is.
He's the former defense secretary.
Oh. Should know that.
Yeah, and it was actually Christopher Mellon who got the videos released, you know, from
Oh
the
no, he
Pentagon.
was the
He's the one who,
deputy. He was deputy assistant secretary of defense for
yeah,
intelligence.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That guy. All right. He's the one who got the videos released through the Pentagon, you know, and helped and got them brought out to everybody, you know. It was because of him that those clips got released. That's another thing. I don't see how anybody can fucking hate on the guy. He got the videos released and got the Pentagon to admit that these are UFO videos of actual UFOs, got the videos fucking released, and people want to give him a hard fucking time. Like, I don't understand why. Like, this is exactly what we wanted. It just doesn't make sense, you know? UFO Researcher of the Year award. Give me a break. Why? I think you guys probably should have got it at that time, dude.
It's Marv A in the chat. Cupid, do you think the US has any secret tech that qualify as one of the 5 observables? Yes, quite probably. And I actually personally believe that what they're doing with a lot of their releases, where they're saying, "Oh, we don't know what some of this stuff is," but they're not prepared to say that it's from outer space or what have you, or different dimension, whatever you want to, however you want to look at it. I think they're using that as it's plausible deniability, isn't it? Oh, we don't know what that was. You know, if one of their new pieces of tech gets caught on camera, gets caught on radar, they can always
Blame it
turn
on
around and say,
UFOs.
we don't know what that was. And then people like ourselves are going to be thinking, Jesus Christ, that's the greatest UFO footage. Oh my God, that must have been a UFO. It was traveling that fast, or it was behaving in this manner. But yeah, I do believe that they probably have the likes of the tech that could be classed as some of the observables.
Okay, well, hopefully he answered Marv's question. Marv A, Marv, how you doing, buddy? Can anyone in the chat see what the 3 have that Kyle does not? Nothing now, motherfucker. I got the headset on, so fucking suck a ball.
One of these guys was not like the others.
Yeah. So, well, so I think, yeah, Christopher Mellon. I think that, you know, he helped bring out the UFO videos to the world. So that's, you know, that's awesome. I don't see, he hasn't put out any hoax videos. He hasn't made up any lies. He's not talking about Nibiru coming to destroy us all or any bullshit like that. You know, he seems like a fucking straight up guy, intelligent guy who's, you know, wanting the truth to get released. Same for Lou Elizondo. I mean, he, you know, he came out, he was the director of this program. He told everybody that's what he did, and that they were researching UFOs and trying to find out more about them and stuff like that. And that's what he did. He was telling the truth. He hasn't put out any hoaxes. He hasn't said any lies about going around and, you know, flying on fucking, you know, starships to fucking Venus or no bullshit like that. You know, so he's, you know, a pretty straight up guy. You know, Tom Long, same thing. He helped bring everybody together and start to the Stars Academy. Hey, thank you for the super chat, Marv A. You fucking rock. Awesome, brother. Why don't you guys do it like Marv A and fucking give me some money? Except give it to PayPal so YouTube doesn't take a cut. Greedy fucking bastards. Cooper is saying, Alex is saying, I think the thing people hate about Lou is that he hyped up the movement all the way up the report drop, up to the report drop, then he said he couldn't say anything else. You know, I don't know if I don't know what the. That's one thing. I have no idea what people's problem is with Lou. I didn't even know there was an issue, and all of a sudden it just started. Except for Third Phase of Moon. I mean, I know that they didn't like Lou, but I didn't know that there was like like a whole push to fucking make everyone hate this fucking guy for some reason. Like that, I just didn't understand. And then, and I saw some of the shit where, uh, where like he fucking stuttered on answering a question, and then fucking people were like, "Oh, there, right there, he's fucking lying." Like it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like really? Like give me a fucking break, man.
He's a deceptive fucking politician. That's the problem.
Because he fucking because he stuttered or something when he was talking.
He's
like all of a sudden, like that's not a fucking reason to fucking say that he's doing anything wrong.
His name says it all over there in England. That Lou is another word for toilet, and that's where the shit
Yeah, and
out of
so
his mouth needs to be. Fuck Lou.
I would like to know what he actually did. I think Q is just following along, trying to be cool like everybody else. So I want to hate the guy, because I mean, even though I don't actually have any, actual evidence supporting why I hate him, I just know that he sucks and he's not doing shit for the fucking UFO community. I mean, even though he did help bring this shit out to the forefront and work for the government investigating UFOs, still. I want to just talk shit. Like,
if
what the fuck,
out,
dude?
If Lou comes out, speaks honestly, tells us something
He does.
real, whatever, girlfriend. If he comes out and tells us something really interesting and is honest and forthcoming and stops talking like a politician, I'll fucking try and have his babies with him.
What did he do? You tell me. What did he do? What did he do wrong?
In my opinion,
yeah.
Well, it's not a matter of what he did wrong. It's what he's done right. And in my opinion, he hasn't done that much. I think he's come into the community because of his job titles. He's almost got a godlike aurora around him. And I honestly don't think he deserves it. I really don't, mate. Not yet, anyway. Maybe one day, and I hope he proves me wrong, because I'm only in this to find out what the fuck is going on. I have seen a couple of things, but I haven't had experiences like you. And as I always say, I want to believe. I know there are aliens in the universe. It's an impossibility for there fucking not to be. And anybody who thinks that there aren't aliens in the universe is fucking minded. So small-minded, it's pathetic. But I'm still stuck. And yeah, people will argue this with me, like yourself, because you're an experiencer. But I'm still stuck on, have they been here? And if they have, for how long have they been here? When did they come here?
Yeah. Well, see, but these are questions that Lou would not be able to fucking answer. I don't think anyone in the government could fucking answer those questions.
No, they probably couldn't. But I just don't think Lou is forthcoming enough. And until, in my mind, he's more forthcoming with his answers, I'm not going to be a fan of his.
So you don't think that he has a responsibility to not go around discussing classified information?
Certain information, yes, he should keep private. It should be classified, depending on what he knows. But I just don't like the way the shit comes out of his mouth. Like when he talks about his DNA, I won't break my I will break my DNA with the American government, but I won't break it because of the trust I have in the American people. Shut the fuck up and talk fucking properly.
Well, he's sitting there saying that he can't fucking discuss it, that he doesn't want to discuss it. It's confidential. So.
No, he's talking like a politician, and I fucking hate them as well.
Well, what do you expect them to say for somebody who has classified information that they're not allowed to share? You tell me what should he have said?
Tell us all or tell us nothing. Don't come on and say,
Is
"Oh, look,
what? So
hey,
break
guys."
the but so you're saying go ahead and tell people the classified information.
Now, what I'm saying is the government should come out and either don't bother telling us fucking anything or tell us it all. Because by what they're doing at the moment, I think it's deception against people like ourselves who are looking into the subject. They're showing us a couple of little bits of footage here and there. Oh, we don't know what this is.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're probably covering the
Yeah.
fucking ass because whatever they're fucking working on has been caught on camera, caught on radar, being seen by the public, whatever. And it's the perfect time to say, we don't know what that was. Maybe it was a UAP.
Well,
I mean,
that's exactly what they're
why the
saying.
fuck did they change it to UAP instead of changing it from UFO?
Well, you know the
Well,
answer to that, right?
were they trying to protect us UFO hunters to get us away from the silver fucking
No, they're trying to
people?
protect. They're trying to get their people to start reporting this shit, and with the stigma attached to UFO, they're like, we gotta get rid of the stigma that we fucking created. And so, one of the best things you can do is change the fucking name, and that's the fucking truth. That's why they did it.
I guess it's just a difference of opinion, Scott. But that's the good thing about this group. We all have different opinions on shit.
I still think some of it is connected to the whole. If you look at the FAA has been compiling a database of drone sightings by pilots for like the last 5 years, and I will admit, I regularly read it just to make sure that anything that they saw doesn't happen to be anything that I built in this workshop. But there's some weird stuff in there. I mean, there's reports of drones flying like 90 miles off the East Coast at 25,000 feet. What the hell is that? I mean, let's just say it's something that's it's not an alien spacecraft. It's something humans built. Still, who the hell built it, and what the hell is it doing there? So,
and Jericho in the chat, he says, I think Cupid is holding his opinion on Lou till more information becomes available, and I'm with him. Nice one, Jericho, because you're thinking the same way I am. And third phase, thank you. Because I think I'm spot on, although I could be wrong.
Well, that's what fucking Third Phase of Moon is saying about you. They're saying that you're spot on. Of course, you're both a fucking couple idiots. No, I'm just fucking with you guys, man. No, I mean, feel free. That's the thing. You can have your beliefs. I don't want to try to fucking push mine on you, or anything like that. The only reason I bring it up is simply because I literally do not understand what the issue is. Like, if someone could fucking point out to me what he did wrong or what they did wrong, I am willing to fucking sit and listen to it. But to this day, to right now, no one has pointed me to any fucking evidence of any kind of wrongdoing that they should deserve for us to fucking, say that, oh, these guys are crap, or not to listen to them or whatever. In my opinion, they should be celebrated and applauded for what they have done for the UFO community. They've fucking exactly what we've wanted. They helped get it done, and they deserve our prayers. They get their props from me. So if you guys are out there listening, it might not be much, but you got my fucking support, and I'm glad that you guys did what you did, because we fucking needed it. I think it's important, and not just to you forget about that. This is exactly what we wanted, and these guys made it fucking happen. and they're getting hated on, and I just don't agree with it. And I think a lot of people are just following the leader is what I think. I think a lot of people hear, oh, someone's talking, they're talking shit about Lou, and so everyone just jumps on the fucking bandwagon, like, oh, let's all just fucking talk shit about him because he did this, even though there's no fucking evidence for him doing any wrongdoing for anything. No one can say anything that he's done wrong. They just keep saying, oh, well, and then it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then the whole group gets hated on, and it doesn't make any sense. Christopher Mellon, I think, is a good guy. I think he's a smart guy. Tom DeLonge, I think he's a good guy. I think what he did helped out a lot for the UFO community. No, I don't think he deserves Researcher of the Year, but still, I appreciate what they did and the hard work they did. And until I can see something that they did that's wrong, and that's fucking, where it's them just making up complete bullshit or something like that, until I see that, I got nothing but fucking props for them,
Well,
but
Carl, I have nothing against Mellon. As for Tom DeLonge, I really don't give a fuck either way. I don't really have that much of an opinion, although I did like one of his songs. It's just Lou. I don't appreciate his gander. And also, I will tell you, Raf is about to jump off. So before he gets off, let's put him on the spot.
Yeah, Raph, you naked motherfucker. What do you think?
Well, as I said to Tom DeLonge, I also don't think that he deserves the Researcher of the Year, because what has he researched as far as coming up with to the Stars
Yeah.
Academy and
Yeah,
shit like
right.
that? Also,
Oh, he didn't even have that out at the time when he won that fucking award. That wasn't even out yet.
Well,
so he
yeah,
didn't even he didn't even have that yet.
if he would come up with a solo music project, then you could see that he tried it. He used it just for like publicity and shit, But
It's I think the guys who gave out the award from Open Minds magazine or whatever, they're just on his dick because he's a superstar fucking rock star, and they're like, oh, he's into UFOs, we're going to give him Researcher of the Year award, which I don't even think they had one before that, and they gave it to him just to fucking swing on his nuts for a little bit because he's like, yeah, he's a rock star, I want to hang out with him and be cool,
yeah.
No other reason.
Well, Third Phase some time ago had a nice comment where it said the Pentagon claimed Lou never had any substantial role for ATIP. So that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, he did. He was a fucking director of it.
Well, Third Phase has some other information, as it seems.
Yeah, that information is being taken out of context. Yeah, what was he, a fucking was he a janitor at fucking ATIP? Like he was a fucking director of the program. He came into it, it was already running, and he got it fucking handed to him, to be fucking the director of it. That was his job. That's what he did. I mean, there's no reason for him to make up a fucking lie like that. Doesn't even make sense,
Kyle,
Yeah.
Jax has been stage waiting for 15 minutes.
Oh, it doesn't even
Well,
show him that he's on here.
I'm gonna shoot off to make space.
Okay.
Catch you later,
Yeah,
Raf.
guys.
All right,
later,
Raph,
Raph.
go put some clothes on, buddy.
later.
All right,
no.
later, brother. Yeah, it doesn't, when Jax jumps on here, it'll show me under guests that someone's waiting to get on. So he hasn't actually jumped on yet.
All right.
Yeah. So, but who knows, what's, Open Minds Award pathetic, right? And right, Third Phase of Moon. Now, I don't even know if fucking did they even give out a Researcher of the Year award before that one with Tom DeLonge? Like, did you guys ever hear about it? I was heavy into the UFO world, and I gotta be honest with you, I never heard of it. I had a subscription to Open Minds magazine. I still have like 12 of their fucking magazines, dude. Okay. So I even was in part of their world. I'm telling you, I never heard about this Researcher of the Year award from Open Minds magazine up until Tom DeLonge. and I fucking had their magazines, dude. Like I
Well,
got them every month. So I
well,
was like, I never heard of it.
I won it the 4 years previous.
You
Yeah.
didn't win
Well,
shit. Shut the
yes,
fuck up.
yes, I did, but I can't tell you about it because of my non-disclosure act.
Oh well, then you what? Then why did you even tell us that little bit? You either tell us all or tell us nothing. Why'd you
Oh,
even
God.
mention it, you fucking
Oh,
asshole?
Because my
Shouldn't have
middle
said
name is
shit,
because
dude.
my middle
Shouldn't have
name is
said
Lou.
shit. You
My
shouldn't have
middle name
dared.
is
Why? How
Lou.
dare you come on here and say anything about it
Q
without telling everything?
Q Louvid.
So what are these aliens up to? That's an interesting question, and I would like to point out, and I think people, you know, don't actually think about this enough, that it's not going to be just one alien. You can't encompass, an entire species and judge them like, say, oh, well, are they good aliens or are they bad? Well, you can't say that, because that's like trying to say, are humans good or humans bad? Well, some of us are good and some of us are bad. That's all comes down to the individual. Well, I think there's probably many different species that um you research our planet and observe our planet. And I think that the different types of UFOs should be cataloged in a way where we could start perhaps giving them names to identify them, and identify, these craft do this particular set of, things, and these craft do these particular sets of things or whatever. Because some craft don't do what other ones do. Some of them, they all look different. They all have different shapes and designs and shit. And I think it's really important. I also think that there's a lot of stuff that happens with UFOs that people just kind of overlook, and not because they're stupid or ignoring it or something like that, just because it's really at the time probably just doesn't even make sense, so it doesn't really stick out. But like I said before, like, I think like the lights on a UFO are really, really important, and I think that we're missing a big chunk of the mystery here, because we're ignoring just the lights. And I know that it seems, you know um it seems like a real minuscule thing, like it doesn't really, like, who cares about the lights or whatever. But I think it's really important, because I think it may be a way that they're could be trying to communicate with us, that the lights could indicate certain things, or certain attempts to communicate. They could be, putting off different wavelengths that we might be able to receive. And I mean, there could be a lot of information there that we're missing, but these we know that they use fucking radio signals. We know that. So I mean, that's interesting, because though that's something that we do. And so it's not like they're so fucking advanced. At least some of them are at a level where they're still using radio waves to do whatever, whether they're, doing radar, or whether they're using walkie talkies or whatever. I'm just saying that they still, they're not so, at least some of them are not so far advanced that they're just completely beyond our imagination.
Kyle Jax is in the basement again.
Oh, yep, there he is. What up, Jax?
There he is.
Makes me wonder if they had a hand. Michael Franks is saying, makes me wonder if they had a hand in our creation. I tend to think so. It seems that if you're like an ancient astronaut theorist, like I am, that there seems to be a lot to deal with ancient man and our belief in gods and shit like that. And then if you look at scientifically and the biology of humans and shit like that, there's a lot of stuff that leaves up for question. And we know that the theory of evolution is still a theory. And despite what people say, evolution is not a fact. It is a theory. And
It's a fact.
it despite what people say, it is a theory. There is a thing called the missing link because we do not have the piece of the puzzle that we need to make it a fact. That is true. Okay. We do not have it. It is called the missing link because it is missing. We simply do not have it. All right. Now
What
I'm
missing
not saying
link?
I'm not saying that I'm not saying that I'm against evolution. I'm saying that there is that it is a fucking theory that there could be other stuff happening with evolution that they might have played, that extraterrestrials could have had a hand in fucking with certain species here on Earth or whatever. Certain species may have come from other places or whatever. And it just seems so crazy that humans can be so different from everything else on the planet when we have such similar
Well,
DNA
we're
and shit
not
like
very
that,
different genetically. We're not very different from
no,
the
we're
other
fucking
great apes.
no, we're super, exactly, we're super fucking close, yet sociologically we are on two different fucking levels. One is a fucking animal and then one is us, like everything is beneath us, like like at the pyramid we're the apex and everything else is beneath us. We're on a whole different level of intelligence that no other animal comes close to. I mean,
Well,
nowhere, not
that
even
kind of gets
close.
into there's Neil deGrasse Tyson talks about this, and it kind of scares the shit out of me. He talks about how we're basically there's like a 1% difference between us and chimpanzees,
Correct.
right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And there are things a human toddler could do that a chimpanzee couldn't dream. The smartest chimpanzee in the world couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So what are we getting into when so there's 1% difference between us and chimpanzees. What if it's 2% difference? 1% difference from us.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
would something like that be able to say, "Oh, they're so cute. They can do differential calculus. Wow, they're so cute. Look at they're like smart. They can do differential calculus.
So
They build little
that's true though.
rocket ships."
But that's true. I mean, think about that. Just that little tiny percentage makes a difference
Yeah,
to the point where
a
we can build a
tremendous
hadron
point.
collider. Yeah, So I think that they may have that it's possible that there could have been some kind of manipulation with our DNA, because one, you really wouldn't have to manipulate all that much. Just a little bit could make a huge fucking drastic fucking change. I mean, you can really go uh you basically are a whole different fucking species with just, a percentage, one half a percent of difference in DNA, but not only that, it's also we share 51% of the same DNA with a fucking banana tree. A fucking banana tree. It's a tree. Yeah, we share
Yeah, that's
almost
like
half of the same fucking DNA.
that. Yeah, there's when people say the theory of evolution can't be real, like, okay, why do we share a DNA with bacteria?
Everything. Yeah, like
Yeah,
everything on Earth, I mean, it makes me wonder.
mathematically that's impossible unless that bacterium in humans at some point in the distant past had a common relative.
It makes me wonder if extraterrestrials would share similar DNA to humans, you know? I mean, does it have to be so fucking, and that's another thing, that as much as we know about DNA, we really don't know shit. And I bet you in the future, junk DNA will no longer be junk DNA. And I bet it's probably a big missing piece there that they simply don't understand. But I mean, there could be all kinds of shit going on with junk DNA that we're just overlooking or ignoring. Um, but I think that it's possible that we could have an extraterrestrial whose DNA is really similar to ours. Maybe it's only different by a fucking percentage. Maybe it's, different by 1%. And look how different we are from chimpanzees, with that 1%. So look how different they could be from us with that 1%.
The thing I wonder about is, we think of aliens, but we're so used to Hollywood's version of aliens, which is usually just humans and a lot of makeup and prosthetics. So like
Yeah,
Klingons are aliens, but if you really think about it, they're bilateral symmetric
yeah,
hominids that are bipedal. They just have funky stuff on their foreheads and growl a lot.
yeah,
But a life form that evolves on a completely different planet with a completely different set of environmental circumstances and a completely different evolutionary path could be so frickin' different from us, it would just blow your mind at how weird it is. And there are things here on Earth like mantis shrimp that
yeah.
are so freaking weird. They look alien, but they're actually distantly related to all other life forms on Earth.
You know
We're talking about something that wouldn't be related to us at all.
Well,
Imagine-
octopi are also the same, aren't they? Their DNA is fucking out there.
Yeah, I mean,
They shouldn't
mantis
exist.
shrimp
Imagine
can
that-
see colors that humans can't even comprehend.
I was going to say the same thing, Q. That that imagine if there is an extraterrestrial race that is basically like, so how we're like evolved from chimps and primates. What if there is a species that is like evolved from cuttlefish? All right. I mean, like, think about that. A cuttlefish or an octopus or whatever, they can completely change the way their body looks, like, to form just totally different shapes and shit like that, to blend into their surroundings. They can make themselves look like other animals. I mean, like, imagine a species like that. They could come here on Earth and look like any person they wanted to, just naturally. And also, I think this is a real important thing too that people seem to overlook, as hypnosis and hypnotizing people. I think plays a big role in our dealings with UFOs. Probably bigger than I even know, that I even think. But I think it plays a big fucking role in it, and perhaps it's something like that's a real natural thing that like cuttlefish do to their prey. They'll hypnotize their prey with colors on their bodies, and they start just doing these fucking color patterns that just come flash, whatever, like that, and it gets crabs into a zone where they're completely they're kind of like hypnotized and just kind of stuck, and then the cuttlefish just kind of swims around and fucks them up. But they hypnotize them in a sense, using the bioluminescence that their body naturally creates. And sometimes I wonder if maybe like the Greys, if they do exist, have an ability like that that's just inherent in their DNA, that they're just kind of born with, that perhaps they can hypnotize other beings or other creatures at a level that's just just beyond anything. It's beyond a fucking watch or anything like that, trying to like what we do. But because there's so many people who talk about UFO aliens looking them in the eyes and then just basically being hypnotized. And it's not like the aliens are swinging a pendulum back and forth, or asking them to clear their mind and to take a deep breath or shit like that, but just looking in their eyes and they're almost instantly hypnotized. I wonder if that's a part of their evolution, or is that something that they they might have created a means to manipulate people like that technologically.
Well, do you
Obviously,
think Jax could be exactly the same? Because I find Jax quite hypnotic.
I feel like Jax is always hypnotized. Like he's just constantly fucking looking at a goddamn fucking spinning spiral and hypnotizing himself to try to stay awake. Justin is saying the giant cuttlefish here in South Australia have amazing changes of color and camo techniques. That's right.
Those things can make themselves look like friggin' rocks and crap like
Yeah,
that. They
you
are
know.
amazing creatures.
They really are. I mean, they are so fucking different from us. They're like aliens on this planet. They're so fucking different from us. I could just imagine a species that evolved from something like a cuttlefish, and if you were to give a cuttlefish hyper intelligence, I mean, imagine what it could do. Like if the cuttlefish here on Earth, if they got intelligence as a means of defense or whatever, like primates did, and and then all of a sudden here we come, fucking I could just imagine what a creature with descended from a cuttlefish and has hyper intelligence. I mean, just think about that. Like, they could literally be here on Earth and you'd never fucking know. They could just look like anybody. Excuse me. Of course, this is all speculation, people. I just want to make this known that this is what we're discussing right now is clearly speculation. This is hypothetical stuff. I'm not saying that this is stuff that I know for a fact or anything like that. Simply discussing possibilities. All right.
Okay,
So
now
let's
you
not get this
sound like
confused.
you
Yeah.
sound like Lou Alessandro.
Well, I want to make it known. Because I don't. Next thing I know, I don't need people coming on here saying, oh well, obviously you think cuttlefish are aliens. No, I don't think that. You fucking idiot.
Jax, what do you think about what we've been talking about tonight, as you haven't been on the panel till now?
Well,
Go over any part of the stream.
well, it's more like this. I mean, I'm of the opinion that we are only getting snippets of information. Those videos, they are not high quality videos that were put out. They're whatever 7K, 10K, whatever that they were out there now. Because the military, they hold their stuff and we don't get it until another 30 years. So keep that in mind. We're only getting maybe 7 minutes out of the whole video. I want to see the whole video in full detail.
Right?
That being said, if you're not going to, just like with Lou, don't give us little snippets. Just like the videos, don't give us little snippets. If you're not going to give us the full details, keep your mouth shut and don't say nothing. Period.
So you think it's better just to not have ever even gotten those videos?
Exactly.
You would rather have not had those videos released and had the Pentagon come out and admit to them, and so they couldn't show us the whole video. So what? At least we got what we could. Okay, I'm gonna have to disagree. If you can show me snippets of some badass UFOs, I want to see it. Even if it's not the whole fucking video, I still appreciate the little bits that we get to see. That's still fucking cool. Just because someone can't come out and admit to every fucking thing, I understand that. Scary Vibe is asking, can I tell my encounter? Yes, absolutely you can. And if you want, you could come on here and share it with everybody if you're willing, if you have a camera. Because I love hearing people's stories. That's another thing like that. I love hearing people's stories, on about UFOs and their UFO encounters. And I want everyone to know that if you have an encounter and you want to talk about it, this is the place for you to come and talk about it. We want to hear everyone's story. Obviously, if you're a fucking fruitcake, you're going to get called out. So just be prepared for that. But if you have a legitimate story to share, this is fucking channel, come share it on. We definitely want to hear. I love hearing people's stories and shit like that. And I know sometimes it can be hard to talk about, and sometimes you just can't find the right people to tell. But believe me, we're the right people to tell. I'd love to hear it. Scary Vibe, if you want to come on and share it, feel free. If you want to just write it in the comment section, feel free. I'm sorry, continue. Go ahead, Q.
Well, it was actually Jax, but I'll be back in one sec.
Go ahead, get the hell out of here, Jax. Go ahead. I had to put you on mute for a second because of the background noise from your mic. But go ahead, Jax.
Well, it's just like, I mean, more than 50% of the world's population believes in UFOs. Okay, so to me, just giving a little snippets of information like that is insulting our intelligence. Give us the real stuff. Give us the real deal. Never mind this little tip-tap pity crap. Give us the whole thing.
Well,
That's
sometimes, yeah, I mean, obviously you can't, there's reasons why they're keeping it classified, it makes sense to me. For, there's certain things you don't want, your adversaries to know about. So, you know, I mean, like, again, I have to disagree, just because they might not be able to tell you everything. But at least coming out and admitting some stuff, letting us know some stuff, that's better than nothing. Because just having nothing, we're never going to get anywhere if that's the fucking case. If it's give us all or nothing, we'll never get anywhere. At least if we can have little bits of information at a time, we can make that shit work to our advantage and at least let people know some things. Um, sure, I would love to see more of the gimbal video. But eventually I'm sure that will come out. I'm sure eventually all the UFO videos will fucking come out. But right now, if all they can get is just some snippets released that show, cool things happening. Okay, so yeah, that sucks. I'd like to see the whole video, but you know what? I still appreciate getting to see that little snippet and lets me know that there is an actual video out there that's even longer that shows even cooler stuff. So I don't see any reason to hate on them for it, but that's just my opinion. Obviously, you have your own, which is fine.
I don't hate on them. I'm just saying don't do that type of stuff. I mean, how long ago was the Tic Tac video? How long ago was that put out?
2017. Yeah, 2017.
Okay, so it's been 4 years, right? Give us another snippet from the video. Why are they going to hold it off?
Yeah, they have a whole. They actually have 10 minutes of video. You know that. And that gun camera footage actually has high quality footage of the craft, like up close. And Lou Elizondo was actually talking in another interview that he said that the 3 videos that they got released were actually the worst of the videos that they have. Those were like the worst ones.
Exactly.
That's why they're the easiest to get released. That means that all the other videos that they have are of much higher quality. So we know that these other high quality videos exist. And now that we're getting Congress to, they're getting briefed on it and stuff. Eventually that shit's going to come out. Now that, they're trying to make it all public, it's just going, obviously fucking the wheels in government turn really slow, but they are turning. And, it is happening slowly, but it is happening. The shit is coming out. Eventually, I think we're going to get those videos. Eventually, I think we'll even see stuff like the Holloman landing footage, and shit like that. I bet you there's other cases where they got high quality footage and just have never told anybody. Like maybe Rendlesham Forest maybe has video or some shit, I mean,
Swavak in chat brings up a good point. He says snippet but quality, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair enough, because you got to remember these are little pieces of footage. They're not showing us the whole footage. They're only showing us the little snippets. And at the same time, they're giving us fucking hell, it may as well be 720p. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The footage is so shite when they're supposed to have all this 8K, 10K. Fuck all MKs. Show us a piece of the fucking footage.
Right.
If they can't figure out what it is, maybe fucking idiots like us can.
No, I agree 100%. I'd like to see the high quality footage, and for whatever reason, they want to keep it secret. I'm assuming because they don't want our adversaries to see, like maybe their scientists might see the fucking UFO, the high quality footage, and realize, oh, this is how you do this or something, and so they want to keep that shit secret just because obviously that's what we fucking do. But I understand it to a point, but at certain things, I would at least think like, okay, like the Tic Tac or the gimbal, they have high quality footage of that. If you couldn't show us the video, at least show us a still frame picture of it, at least give us that, something like that. Like, I don't understand, like, oh, we can't show you anything. Well, it's like, if you can show us the little snippet of the video, then I mean, surely there could be ways around where, oh, the full color video, you could find ways around showing us that without giving away any other information. You could cut out all the signals that are on the footage, or maybe how it was acquired, and just show us the fucking picture. And that's one of the problems, is that they have to admit to certain things that they probably don't want to do, which is why they can't tell us, like, they have recordings um of the tic tac on radar doing crazy things or doing this, but it will give away a form of technology that our adversaries don't know that we have. And so, perhaps that's why they can't show us. But we do know that this footage and stuff like that does exist because of people like Lou, who have seen it and have said that this footage does exist.
But I can't tell you anything about it.
Oh yeah, exactly. They could describe it for you, I'm sure. I wonder if he could. That's what I'd like to know. I'd like to ask Lou to describe the best piece of footage that he has seen of UFOs. That's a perfectly reasonable question, to ask his ass. So,
I don't think
He won't answer you.
I don't think anyone has asked him to describe the best piece of footage he's ever seen. I don't think I've heard anyone ask him that question. If someone has, point me to a clip, give me a link. I gotta see it, because all the stuff I've seen on him, I've never seen him been asked that question to describe what the best piece of UFO footage looks like. Because I'd like to know: is it a flying saucer? Is it a black sphere? Is it a flying triangle? Is it a fucking cigar shaped fucking white tic tac? Like, what's the best piece of footage he's ever seen? And describe what it looks like. And that's what I'd like to know.
And maybe if somebody did ask him that question and he was forthcoming with his answer, maybe the likes of myself would change their opinion on him. I mean, before you said, everybody seems to be jumping on the bandwagon, having a go at Lou. I don't jump on anyone's bandwagon. My opinions are just my own opinion. That's why sometimes I get hate from my friends. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I have my opinion, and that's one of the only things I'm entitled to have in the world, you know, as we all are. Um, but yeah, if Lou was to answer honestly, something like that, maybe my opinion would change on him. But honestly, it would not surprise me if he went back to his old politician talk and said basically nothing.
You know what? It would actually surprise me, because I would think at that point, I don't see any reason why he couldn't, describe what in his opinion, the best looking UFO video looks like. Because in that instance, there's no way for him to be giving away classified information by simply describing what he thinks the best UFO video looks like. And so it would actually really surprise me if he didn't answer it. If he decided to pull the whole, classified card, then I would kind of be upset with him, because I would be like, well, that doesn't seem to make sense that you're not willing to share that kind of information, when clearly there's no way for you to be, giving away classified information by describing what the best looking UFO video looks like. That's not giving away any way of how you got the video. It's not giving away where it was taken, or what other, electronic means of recording you guys used. None of that. So all that stuff is still safe. So just describing what the craft looked like, or what it was doing, how it looked, or whatever in the video, I don't see any reason. I don't see any way for him to be breaking a his non-disclosure agreement with.
You see,
So that would bug me.
Marv in the chat there said Lou did say that he saw a crystal clear photo of a UFO, but he didn't provide details of what the object looked like. Well, why not? Like you're saying, Kyle, okay, fair enough. I get the whole thing of if they were to release the 10K footage, maybe the Russians would see something that
Mhm.
the
Sure.
almighty American government weren't able to get their heads round and were able to back engineer something or whatever bullshit.
Hmm.
But if Lou says he saw a crystal clear photo of a UAP, why can't he describe it? Because it would be like me. Okay, I saw this UFO. Ask me
I
any
don't.
questions
I
about it.
don't think he was.
And
I don't
me
think he
just
was actually
telling a
questioned on
description.
giving. I don't think he was asked to fucking give a detailed account of it. I think because I know what he's talking about, and he brought up the fact that he had seen, he in one interview he says that they have video of a UFO 50 feet away and 4K high quality daylight footage, and he's sitting there saying that in an interview, but the interviewee did not say, could you give me a detailed description of what that UFO looked like? So he didn't ask him that question, so he didn't, he was just answering, saying, they asked him, what's the do we have any better footage and then the three videos, and he said yes, those are probably the worst of the videos we have. All the rest of the videos are of much higher quality, of better stuff. Some of the videos show a UFO within 50 feet, broad daylight, but the guy didn't ask Lou to go into details on the detailed description of the craft. But I think that if he would have been asked that, I think he would probably answer it. And so perhaps we can get Third Phase and Moon to fucking ask him that question, if they can get another interview with him or something, because that I'd really like to know.
Or even better,
Um,
get him on here. I will
you
be
know,
most respectful.
yeah, I don't think he would do UFO proof.
See, I think
Now,
I think it'll be going back to like say like 5-6 years ago. Remember how excited we were with the information coming out about JFK? Do you remember that?
Oh, I was never excited about that shit coming out, dude. I heard about it, but I knew nothing was going to come of it.
Well, it's the same thing
But
with
I do
this.
remember that. Yeah.
They didn't tell us anything new whatsoever. It was the same information that was already released, just in a different form.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember Trump was releasing fucking JFK fucking stuff, and I was like, so what? What the fuck? It didn't tell us anything different. It didn't show us anything new, you know. But then that's another thing that pisses me off is goddamn Trump. He refuses to listen, or he refused to listen to anyone in his intelligence agencies. And so everything that they said to him, he was like, I don't believe it. And it's like you got the intelligence people coming up telling him UFOs are real, and our sailors and our fucking our airmen encounter them on a daily basis. And he's like, they asked him at Fox News, they're like, so do you believe in UFOs? He's like, well, they say they're seeing stuff out there, but I don't believe it. And it's like, what do you mean you don't believe it? They're sitting there telling you it's fucking real, you asshole. What do you mean you don't believe it? And it's like, give me a fucking break, dude.
Well, just wait. Trump 2024, and Trump I trust.
And Trump, you trust. I bet you fucking, I trust that you'll never see him in office again, dude. Trust that.
Well, he was supposed to be reinstated yesterday.
Yeah, I thought he was supposed to be reinstated. What happened to
What
that?
happened?
he's
Where is he
taking his
now?
time. He's taking
What the
his
fuck?
time.
Yeah,
He was going to come on and get it sorted, but he didn't want to break his NDA. Luis Mares, I'm sorry I'm butchering your name, has just been talking in the chat there. I saw a huge one over the city of El Paso,
Oh yeah,
Texas,
that's cool.
over the airport, no less. I also seen then in broad daylight, no less, in White Sands in New Mexico.
Oh wow, that's
White
cool.
Sands missile range.
Hang on a second. So I want to read Scary Vibes encounter, right, you guys? So this is from Scary Vibe on here right now. He's saying, wait, let me find the very first part where he's telling the story. All right, so oh wait, hang on. There's more actually. Jesus.
You got to remember, if they're doing it in chat, it's going to take them quite a
Yeah,
while
it's
to
gonna.
try
I
and
gotta keep fucking.
go through their
Yeah,
story.
going through it exactly. I keep finding one, but I'm like, that doesn't look like it's the start of it. So let me see. All right, so that's gone too far. So we're just gonna have to start right here. Yeah, this is where he's saying, "Can I tell my encounter?" And I just want to say I agree with you. You have to see it to believe it. It's true. Um, so I made my amend, and I knew I was probably going to die and be ripped to shreds. So I walked up to it instead of running away. By the way, I had an immense amount of fear during this. Um, so yeah, where if you thought that you had wrote something like describing it, you didn't. I think you might have missed that because it seems like you just jumped straight into the story. But it had big black beauty eyes and like a green hexagon freckles by its cheekbones. I had the impression they're older than us and have a different concept of life other than our own usual standards. Long story short, I stood in front of it for what seemed like a long time and eventually felt like I should leave. Soon I felt that I walk away first. I ran back to the back of my house. There was way more, but I tried to cut it short. Um, I walked up to it as I was walking. I looked at it, but I looked down standing in front of it because I felt crazy scared and felt like it will rip me to shreds. um yeah, your encounter, I cannot make the slightest bit of sense out of, Scary Vibe. I'm sorry. I'm literally fucking reading everything out that you wrote, and uh it literally makes no fucking sense. Like, just
Kyle,
to hear myself saying this shit, I'm like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Kyle, your email at Gmail, is it .co or .com?
It's .com.
.com. Right. If
Mhm.
anybody on here wants to send Kyle a long message, send it to this email that I've just put on screen. One UFO for truth. And you've got to remember, that's all we need. This is why I have an issue with all the bullshitters in the community putting out the fake shit, because they dilute the community. They just destroy the community. We
Absolutely,
only
dude.
need one UFO for truth, and it's
That's
fucking
it.
correct. It's also Kyle's email. So if you want to send, please, Scary Vibe, send the full story, word it as well as you can, give as much detail as you can, and send it to that email so Kyle can sit down off stream where he's not all stressed out like he is now, trying to get his head around StreamYards.
Hmm.
And
It'd be
he can
much
have a
better.
look at it and he can talk about it some point in the future.
And let me
But
add, please, if you're going to send me a dick pic, make sure you send me a pic of your wife's titties as well, because I've just got hundreds and hundreds of all these penises, and I'm like, where are all the titties? Okay, I'm getting sick of seeing your guys' nut sacks. All right.
yeah,
Or
I'm
just
sorry.
By
just
the
send him a picture of Dick
that is
Van
a
Dyke.
joke. Nobody sends me any dick pics. That's just a joke.
Excuse
Okay.
me, I did. I did.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, you do, but that's because I asked for it. Um, but no, Qvid is right. Thank you, Q. I appreciate that. That is the truth. The best way, if you want to share your story, you can email it to me. Or if you want to come on here and talk just like we are, if you have a camera and a headset, just let me know and I will let you join. Anybody on here, anyone in the comment section, anytime, And when we do these live streams on Friday and Saturday, if you want, if we can make a date of it, as I'm saying, you can hit me up and we can schedule for you to come on and share your story. I know sometimes it's hard to share stories, but you want to, and we're ready to listen.
We're ready to believe you.
That's right. And my email is, of course, Qvid has it written here in the comment section. It's one UFO for truth@gmail.com. You can hit me up anytime, message me, let me know, and come and share your stories. Speaking of, so uh I was going through my older videos uh and my encounter on the mountain, um, I I found the video, and I'm wanting to put it out, but I don't know if it's I don't know if it's time. I don't know if it's time to put it out, you know. But it's definitely interesting, and I think you know what um I'm gonna have to share it with a couple people privately first and discuss it with them on if I should share it or if I should save it. But um I really do want to bring that encounter out and tell everybody about everything that happened. uh and it's still kind of hard for me, you know. I gotta give what's his face, I gotta give Alien Addict Oliver, I gotta give him props. He pried that shit the fuck out of me, dude, you know. I'm sure he probably used some form of fucking hypnosis, whatever the fuck it was. He was able to get that information out of me after I don't know how many fucking years. uh but it was, after telling that story, it made me really want to, go back. So I was going back looking through my old videos, and it, you know it's funny how amazing it is, especially when you know the context of the video. When you see it, it's such an amazing video. uh it makes me, wonder why I never wanted to fucking share it. Well, I got a couple different videos of it. But and some really interesting point as well, that and I didn't even know this until I went back and looked over it. But our friend our friend Tony, asked me if I had ever seen a UFO dropping liquid, and I told him no. uh but that's actually not true. And I didn't I didn't actually realize this. I didn't even really think about it, because I think I was thinking more along the lines of the videos of the Sidewinder missile hitting the UFOs, the way they were dripping like massive amounts, or the LA helicopter thermal video where it's just sitting there dripping like nonstop. I was thinking like that, but I realized I not only have I seen it before, but I actually have it on video. So this is definitely, like I said, UFOs do drip shit. It's not a motherfucking targeting flare. They absolutely do. And in fact, I have a video of a UFO dripping shit. And it was, like I said, I have a couple videos of this encounters and stuff that I have never shared with everybody. I always kept it to myself, but I haven't watched them in years. I just have them. I just don't sit and watch them all the time or anything. And so when I went and pulled them out and was, going over them in the video editor, and I realized, I'm like, oh my God, this one is dripping shit, and the truth is that I didn't actually see it drip when I was filming it. It was doing all kinds of crazy shit. And so, but there is a point where it starts dripping shit. And I think, I'll share the video with you guys later, on the panel or whatever. We take a look at it and discuss it. But yeah, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was definitely fucking dripping. So, to anyone who thinks that fucking video of the Sidewinder UFO, or the Sidewinder missile hitting the UFOs is fake, or that UFOs don't drip, that is not the fucking case. It's absolutely UFO. They absolutely do drip. And not only have I seen it in multiple videos, but apparently I've actually taken a video of it myself. uh Really want to see those. Michael Franks is saying, I really want to see those vids. Yes, they are fucking awesome. I would like to put them out too. I want to send them out to some friends and shit, and other colleagues and stuff, and you know get their take on it first before I go and put it out. Um
Well, Carl,
so
Kyle, I
Yeah, go ahead.
know everybody would love to see your footage, and if you would like to share it with obviously your friends,
Yeah.
first, we would be happy. Um, I personally think it would be good for you at some point to get it off your chest because it's something. When you did the interview with Ollie, the likes of myself and everybody on here already knew that you had an experience that you hadn't been prepared to talk about for your own reasons for
Hmm.
years, and we never pushed you on it. And after your interview with Ollie, before we started these streams, when we were um, in the back room, if you like,
Yeah.
all chatting, you asked for nobody to bring it up, and nobody has. And
Yeah.
this is also to anybody in chat, where Cal was saying before about if you want to come on and tell your story. Yes, everybody knows I'm fucking ruthless. But if you come on and tell your story, I will be respectful. I will ask you questions,
Hmm.
and we will go through what your experience was. You're not going to come in and just get slated because you saw the light and blah blah blah.
Right.
It doesn't work that way, right? And the
Mhm.
same with you, Carl.
Mhm.
At some point, when you need to get it off your chest, mate, in your own time, you do it. I think it would be good for you. Plus,
Yeah, I think so.
I know we want to know. We want to see more. And I know every single person in the chat right now wants to see more.
Oh yeah. It's fucking. It's definitely worth it. I mean,
At the
you
end of
know,
the
it.
day, mate, we're all here for you. Otherwise, we
Yeah.
wouldn't be watching your fucking channel now.
Exactly. You know, it just it sucks when because it was such a strange experience that uh it just seemed like something that didn't make sense, and then uh you start. It's like you have a connection with these beings, whether they're extraterrestrial or interdimensional or ultra terrestrial. I don't fucking know, but they have some means of making these kind of emotional connections. And it seems that they might be able to do it artificially, um, through a means of a technology or something, as through one knowing this only through one of my experiences where my body was going through fucking these flashes of every different emotion. And I mean, they were extreme. Like first you're happy, and then you're sad, and then you're jealous, and then you're ashamed, and then you're embarrassed, and then you're angry. Like emotions that didn't make sense to go with the event that was happening, which was me witnessing a UFO. Getting these fucking emotions just like blasted at me in these like 2-second intervals, um, led me to believe that they are able to do it, through some form of technology, perhaps, that they can manipulate human emotions like that. I don't know how a human picks up on it or how it's transmitted, but that's just what it seems like. And then having this experience, on the mountain, um, leads me to think the same thing, because it was the feeling, the emotion to go where I needed to go, which was something I experienced multiple times before. Um, but you don't have to have a map; you just kind of know where to go, and it's all like basically your feelings. And I don't want to sound like some esoteric David Wilcox fuck. I'm saying this is just what it's like, and uh, and it seems to be the you know closest thing that I can consider to be a form of you know communication. And like I don't see them talking to people just straight up, or using, telepathy or something like that. I think it has to do with more of like uh the emotions that you're expressing. That's how they might communicate with another species, only because that's what we do here on Earth. Basically, we communicate with a lot of other species here. Emotionally, our communications are understood more than our verbal communications. A dog understands, emotional communication way better than it does verbal communication. It can only understand so many words, like maybe like 30 words or something. But emotionally, they fucking understand all kinds of shit. A dog knows when you're happy or when you're sad. And you can be saying words to it that, describing how you're feeling. It doesn't have to understand the words, but he knows what you're saying, and it's just like an emotional kind of thing. And I think that's what it appears to be when dealing, at least with the UFOs that I encountered, um, at that particular time. That's what it seems like. And it really fucks with you, because it makes you question whether or not you ever, loved them to begin with. you know like I said, I fell in love with UFOs. I loved them like they were my fucking girlfriend. Like I didn't fucking I that love was so fucking deep and strong. When that UFO was floating away, it was the last emotion that it left me with. During this, my first encounter. And after going through those intervals of every different emotion, the last one was love. It left me with this love, and the love was so strong. When it started to float away, I wanted to cry. I wanted to cry like I was breaking up with my girlfriend. I wanted to scream and cry, and I would have followed it if I could. I would have fucking followed it to the end of their world. It flew in a way that the roads wouldn't go that way, so I couldn't follow it. But um, and I fell in love with it, and it makes you question. You're like, well, did I ever really, did I ever really care about UFOs or love them, or were they able to just manipulate my emotions, by some form of technology, or something like that. And and makes you question, I mean, does that happen to everybody? Can they do it on a mass fucking scale? And just, and it just makes you question shit. So it can really fuck with you at times. But if you pay attention to it, you can understand what they're wanting you to do, and where you need to go and what you need to do, and you can be prepared, and to see some shit and to document some shit that very few people have probably ever gotten to see or experience. um if you just pay attention. That's one of the reasons that I'm worried about putting out the videos. That's why I want to show it to my friends and shit first, because you know it scares me about people going up there. Although I wanted to go back. I want to go up there again. And I wouldn't mind taking some other people with me, and showing them and shit. But I wouldn't want to like have it so where there's a bunch of people going up there and maybe disturbing their fucking place. I mean, who knows what they actually do inside the mountain. But it kind of sucked to see them, like maybe what they shut that fucking base down or something, because they're getting humans coming up there all the time, like bugging them over shit. you know um yeah, because it's on a whole different fucking level, man. you know I mean, there's something going on there, whether it's inside the mountain, I don't know, or perhaps the portal just teleports you somewhere. I don't know. uh I guess just because of the way everything looked and seemed and felt at the time, that it just seemed like maybe there was an alien base inside the mountain. But perhaps it wasn't. Perhaps these are simply gateways. Maybe it's some sort of stargate where the UFOs can travel in and out and go to where the fuck ever. who knows? I guess I can't really say it's like an alien base in the mountain. That just seemed like the right thing to say, but I guess it could really be. It could really be anything, you know. I wouldn't want to see people going up there and fucking like disturbing that place, you know. That's the only thing that would suck. Um, can anyone tell me what exactly they are and why UFOs and Sasquatch are connected? I don't think UFOs and Sasquatch are connected.
And what the fuck is Zebrax saying? Hey, Cupid, where's Gromit? Just curious. Fuck you.
Ah, that's fucking funny, dude.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep,
yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking
UK
at the
lady,
comments,
I
you know.
agree. I agree,
Um,
UK lady. There's so much we don't understand. That's why we're all here, trying to find answers to shit that is hard to find answers to.
right. Yeah, I don't know if those guys are connected or not, but um, yeah, and and UK lady is right. There are fucking, there's so much we don't understand. Michael
I,
Franks is saying, "Have you gone back to that mountain?" Yes, I have. Um, something Scott Carpenter has footage of an alien and a dragon. No joke. Yeah, I doubt that, but that's okay.
You said Dogman. Dogman, no joke.
And a dog. Oh, aliens and a. Oh, I thought it said dragon. Alien and a dog, man. You know, a fucking dog man. That's so fucking weird. My boring but true story email to Kyle. Hell yeah, dude. Fucking uh yeah, no one's fucking story is boring. I just want everyone to know that. You know, if you had an encounter that fucking changed you and you knew that this okay, you saw a fucking UFO, this is for real UFO, it changes your whole fucking life and outlook and paradigm and it doesn't matter how lame it might fucking seem, you can come and share it over here because I understand most fucking sightings are fucking they're not that spectacular. That's just how it goes. uh Even spectacular ones, you know that the spectacle fucking goes away real quick. you know
That's the thing, most UFO sightings aren't spectacular.
yeah, they're
I
not.
mean, the couple of things I've seen in my time, one of them I saw out the corner of my eye and thought nothing more of it until it happened to be all over the local paper the following day. And the second one, I actually sent you the footage. You thought it was a balloon. Dazza, the cameraman, um, actually um, did literally 3/4 of a second of stabilization on it purely because there was nothing that he could stabilize it on. And his opinion was it definitely wasn't a balloon. He thought it was possibly a some sort of large kite that had gotten away. But we'll never know. I mean, the more I
Yeah.
look at that footage now, because I'm a skeptical figure, um, I tend to think maybe it just was a balloon because the footage isn't that good. It was taken on a fucking potato, like so many pieces of
Hmm.
UFO footage. It was about 45 seconds long. It was nothing fantastic. Um, but that's unfortunately the way some footage goes. The only thing I
Oh
can
yeah.
say in my own defense is I showed the full footage from beginning to end.
Yeah, well that's all that matters. Zebrax is saying, I have seen a UFO dropping something looked more like fire or a fireball. So that's fucking cool, dude. Yeah, I've seen UFOs doing all kinds of crazy shit. And then, well, you know, that's the thing. They're not always flying objects, you know. And it's like some of the UFO experiences that I have is the so-called UFO or whatever was on the ground. You know, so they're not always flying. And some of them are just floating motherfuckers, you know, like I've seen them uh hovering just a couple feet off the ground, you know.
Jackson, Cyrus, have you guys ever seen anything? Because I don't think you've really talked about it. But have you guys ever seen anything when it comes to UFOs?
I've got one really good one.
It's not your fucking drone with the purple lights on it, is
No,
it?
No, it was when he was a
Yeah.
kid. He was a kid. He was
yeah,
fucking camping and shit, dude. And fucking with the Boy Scouts and shit, dude.
yeah. It was a Boy Scout camp out, and
Tell him, dude. Tell him the whole story. It was
Everybody
great.
started. It was a big bonfire we had. There's probably a couple hundred people there, and it was like people would come up and do goofy skits in front of the bonfire. We always did that in Scouts. And all of a sudden, everybody starts looking up and going, "Whoa, whoa, what the heck is that?" And I didn't realize what was going on at first. I was like, "What? What's everybody looking at?" And I looked up, and this thing is hovering about 150 feet over our heads, with lights all over the bottom of it. Absolutely
It's
silent, just
black fucking
silent.
triangle, right?
It was more like a like a like a square, like, well, this is a
That's cool,
rectangle, but
dude.
like four
Yeah.
corners. So, and it, like, one corner was like the front, so it
Wow.
moved like that. Now
That's fucking
this is a
cool.
rectangle. This would have been perfectly square, and it was all
Yeah.
black. I,
So it
like,
was like basically, was it like, so it was like diamond shaped?
yeah,
Wow.
basically.
Okay. Yeah.
Very similar, very similar to how people have described black triangles. It just
Yeah.
wasn't a triangle. But I remember it
No
had lights
shit.
all over the bottom of it.
When you say all over the bottom, or covering the whole bottom, or like round the side, or
I remember specifically it had a blinking red light right in the middle. And then there were lights like around. See, it's foggy because this is like 40 years ago. So I remember there were lights like around the edges of it as well. It was similar in a lot of ways to a lot of the sightings that oh, let me find the town. I always forget the name of it.
so
It's
how
also
big?
in Virginia. Actually, the place where that happened is about 10 miles from where I'm sitting right now.
So how
No
big
shit,
would
dude.
you guess it was?
House sized, a small house. So big,
Wow.
absolutely
Could you
silent. It
could you
never made
imagine
a
seeing that?
sound.
Wow, that's fucking cool, dude.
And it was
You know, it's,
hovering over you.
how
Right
high
over
up
our
was it?
heads. 150 feet, maybe.
Wow.
Directly overhead. Withville. If you go look up Withville, Virginia during the 1980s, they had a whole flap of UFO sightings, and a lot of those are real similar to what we saw that night. But
So
it hovered there. It
where
hovered
was
there.
it at?
It actually, this where what I saw was, or the flap that was a few years later.
The one where you had this with the kids, you know, the Boy Scouts or whatever.
It was. Let me see if I can find a town. It's a rural area. It's not far from where I'm at. If you look on a map, let me find it. Oh, there it is. If you can find Richardsville, Virginia, which is a teeny tiny little town, it was on Route 610, which runs through Richardsville. If you go southeast of Richardsville, Virginia, on like Google Maps, and look to where 610 crosses over the Rapidan River, it was just in those fields, just to the north of the Rapidan River, is where our campsite was, and that's where it happened. And it hung just completely motionless right over top of us like that. And then it slowly rotated very precisely and just kind of did
That's so
like that.
fucking cool.
And I never saw it. It was just gone. They went over the trees. It was so low that when it went over the trees, we couldn't see it anymore. It was that low.
Wow.
So, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fucking cool.
and you guys know that I'm a skeptic,
Yeah.
but I have no clue what that was. I couldn't tell you. I mean, we're
Nope.
talking about something that's the size of a CH-53 helicopter, which is huge.
Yeah.
Those things
So
make all kinds of noise. You can hear one of those things coming 2-3 miles away. This
And
was
there was
silent.
no sound at all.
Nothing. But
Did
it
you
was
get any like electrical feelings off it?
no. I wished I'd. Now that years later, like you should have grabbed your because I had like a spotlight flashlight. I should have grabbed my flashlight and signed it up at it, but I didn't. I was just sitting there like, I think we all were.
fuck
We were just like,
interesting. Yeah,
what
you know.
the?
And
Right,
what about
exactly.
you, Jax?
Well, the first time when I went out to visit DB Cooper, we took a trip out to V's house. I think we all know who V is. And actually, we were out in the middle of the desert, and he pointed it out. He's like, Jax, look straight up.
So
And
you're
nope.
in Nevada at the moment.
Yes. And I look straight up, and there's a triangle right above me. And the thing was, is that it wasn't all black. It almost had like a cloaking device. You can see through it, but you could still see the edges, which is really bizarre. No sound. And it was just sitting there. I can't even tell you how far up it was or how big it was or anything. And the thing was just slowly rotating.
How did it move away?
It didn't.
Well, what happened to it?
It stayed there.
Well, forever.
Maybe it moved after we left.
Right, so how long was this that you were looking at?
Well, we were hanging out there for, I mean, we were looking towards the mountains because he was seeing lights up in the sky like all the time. Like, remember he was telling us years ago that he sees, every time he goes out, he sees them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he
So
wasn't.
how long were you guys there after you first noticed it?
Yeah, did Alex and Burns see this too?
Yes,
Yeah, they all saw it.
we all saw it.
And it's just a craft just sitting up there in the sky, just slowly rotating.
Yes.
And you guys,
By the way,
no one got a picture of it?
I put just a quick aside. I posted some coordinates in the chat. That's roughly where I saw that thing, and that would have been about 1982, 1983. But back to you, Jax.
Yeah, but it was weird. I mean, we were there for like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe a little longer.
And it was a triangle just sitting over your head for 2.5 hours.
Yep.
Like,
Can it-
was it like a straight solid craft? Or was it just like 3 points of light in a triangle formation? Or did it
No,
have
but-
lights on it? Or, you know?
Dude, there was no lights. It was transparent. You could see through it. You could see the stars. But
That's the one that they keep showing on TV.
you could see the outline of the craft. Like there was a stroke around it.
Wow. That's weird.
You know, like if you're putting like in text and you put a stroke around it to make it pop.
Yeah.
Picture something like just the stroke of an outline of a triangle up in the sky.
Did you guys try to get any pictures of it or anything?
No,
Well, shit for Joanne. I didn't mean to wipe
didn't
your
even think
back
of it.
with
Wow. Hmm.
You go up there tonight,
Is it-
and I guarantee you, you'd see something.
Oh, I believe that. I mean, definitely fucking UFOs. You go out hunting for them anywhere, they're fucking there.
I mean,
Just gotta go out and actually look.
he'll go out there and he'll see something that looks like a portal that opened up, and then he can see these things flying in and out of it.
Yeah. Does he have any video of it?
the first wing I got that actually
He's
had
got
people.
one video. Well, see, all his videos for got like
Yeah, here's your stinky part.
trashed, so to speak.
Yeah. Because I don't remember Vern having any videos, dude.
Well, I saw what he was showing me a video when I was there on
Yeah.
his phone, and it was
Oh,
actually
OP.
doing
I mean,
it was doing a figure eight.
Wrestling.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, Vern, you got other crap in this video. He goes, what? There's only one. I said, no, you got like 5, 6, 7, 8 of them in there. And he looked at it and he's like, holy crap. And then it was like, he went to go look at it like a few days later, and it was corrupted.
And the thing is, the same gentleman at the moment is having major issues with whether it be hackers or whether it be whatever. But he fully believes that somebody's out to stop him from showing stuff that he's seen and from getting his story out.
Jesus Christ.
Now I know that sounds all batshit crazy and whatever, but
Yeah.
the fact that Jax and Alex, who we all in this panel trust,
Uh-huh.
have been out with him one night
Yeah.
and seen that motherfucking thing flying around.
Well, wasn't
But
actually flying
that
around.
means that means Alex and Jax are talking shit as well then.
Well, I mean, if you're going off of Jax's story right there, it was actually transparent craft. You could really see it to begin with. It was actually just more like the outline. You could see right through it. So it's not actually a craft for you to actually look at. I would be kind of cautious, especially if for 2 hours is sitting there, and it's like,
I
what if you
can't
took a
believe they
picture of
didn't.
it? It might be a picture of nothing, so
I'd
that
have
would be
still
kind of
tried
hard
to
to
film
say.
it.
That would be kind of hard to sit there and say that is. I'm not sure I would define it as a UFO if you're just like, if you're looking through. So if
Oh, we seem to have lost Kyle a little bit there.
yeah, everyone went out for a minute.
See, it seemed that I thought.
Oh, sorry. Hang on. Go ahead. Go ahead, Jax. Sorry.
I thought it was something that looked like maybe it was a force field or something. That way, it was trying to make itself invisible.
Yeah. So yeah, it's that'd be that'd be kind of hard for me to how to categorize that as UFO. If
Why?
because if it looks like it's like invisible, you don't really have a craft to go off of. Who's to say it was actually invisible, or maybe there was nothing there at all? It could be either one at that
Hold on,
point.
sorry,
No,
Kyle, but I'd
no.
have to disagree. I'd say that's one of the fucking observables. That's low
No.
observability.
Low observability,
can't-
but they're
I can't even
they're
say the
saying
word.
they could be cloaking and stuff like that, but I would think that if they were cloaking, that again, you just wouldn't see them at all. So I wouldn't really count that because they could be, if they're cloaking, I would say, well, it's cloaked. You couldn't really count that as a UFO sighting. If you don't know what you're looking at for 2 hours, it looks invisible and you can't take pictures of it. I'm just saying, I
Just
mean,
fried them.
it could, but um, it, you guys, do you get where I'm coming from when it's like, well, in a situation like that where it's literally you're looking at nothing, or it could be something or it could be nothing, but you can't take a photograph of it, like um it would just be kind of hard to categorize that.
Well, I mean,
That
there
as
was
sounding,
definitely something there.
Have you ever had a sighting that you saw an actual craft, like a UFO?
Yeah, remember my Millennium Falcon story?
No, share that with everybody.
I was standing in a cornfield, me and a buddy of mine, and the reason why we're in a cornfield is because we do the research. I mean, everybody knows that regardless if people think they're real or fake, crop circles are usually made in corn, wheat, or barley. So we decided to go to a cornfield, and not even a half a mile away, right above the treetops, craft came from the right, turned on a dime, and went back the same way. No sound.
No shit. And what it looked like?
And it looked like Han Solo's Millennium Falcon.
Huh.
Sticker in the back, and it was flashing red on one side and flashing blue on the other side.
Good night, techno hippie. Really, dude, that's cool. And it looked like the Millennium Falcon.
Yep, it was that shape.
No shit. So it was like a saucer. It was like a fucking flying saucer. Almost. With that round kind of body.
Yeah.
Man, that's
I mean,
cool.
that's how it was flying. It was flying like the Millennium Falcon. That's the only way, except it was a lot bigger in the rear end.
Really, that's cool, dude. Yeah, see, I would probably, I would say that as a UFO sighting before I would say the other one, because at least that one you can describe, the craft and everything, and that seems to, it just seems to work a lot better than I couldn't categorize the other one, but who's to say?
I can categorize the other one because
because you had the experience, exactly. Hearing the story of an invisible craft that you can't see from this side is like, well, you're telling me a story of something that was invisible that you couldn't see. How do you actually know it was there? Like shit like that. Like it just comes weird on the other end.
I still
but
wish
yeah.
they'd have tried to record something. Even if they'd have started recording and tried shining lights
Yeah,
up,
dude.
or
That's what
laser or something like
Yeah,
that.
exactly,
Just
dude. When
in
you guys are
case
out
they
there,
were able
that's what
to
you should have
capture it.
done. Get some fucking pictures of it, shine it with the fucking lasers, check this motherfucker out, dude. This is what you get. Fucker, look at this. Look at this bitch. You guys see that motherfucker? Look at that.
I should have
Look at this fucking
shined
thing.
that at that UFO.
Right, dude? That's what I'm
That
talking
would have
about. Look at
lit
this
him up.
fucking thing. As
A
opposed to
rifle
just my
pig.
look at this fucking thing, dude. It's fucking what does it say?
How many joules is it?
Right there, dude.
10 million.
Fucking bright, dude. This thing's like it's like a little spotlight, dude. You shine it up in the sky, it's straight up like a fucking spotlight. And believe me, they fucking love it. The UFOs just love it to death, dude. They get all fucking excited when they see that shit. It's fucking true, dude. I got all kinds of videos of them. As soon as they see that fucking light, dude, they love it, dude. They're all up in arms and fucking hopping around. I'm telling you, dude, fucking like you hit them with the laser, and then other ones always want to come out and see what the fuck's going on. So if you tag one of them with the laser, rest assured, more will be there. All right, just keep your fucking eyes open. They'll start fucking coming because they'll all want to come and fucking investigate. And when you tag them with a fucking spotlight like that, dude, they fucking light up super fucking bright. I mean, some of them will stop dead in their fucking tracks, dude. You know, it's cool, dude. Like they love that super bright light for some fucking reason. I don't know. You know, but I mean, there's some UFOs that really seem to fucking have an interaction with light, whether it's lasers or high powered, you know, spotlights, shit like that. You know, they seem to fucking love it, dude. Oh shit, dude, my phone is actually going to die. I have 5% left on my phone. I'm not sure it'll even make it through the rest of this before it kills. So I better wrap everything up right now. But I want to thank everybody for coming and joining the show. I want to take QVid, Cyrus, Jax, thank you guys for coming on the show. Raphael for joining me and during this UAP roundtable. It was great to hear everyone's opinions on everything, and you know, we might not always agree, but we all fucking agree that the topic needs the research and needs to be spoken about, and that's what we're here doing. If you guys ever want to come and share your stories or encounters or just ideas on UFOs or UAPs, this is a channel to come do it on. UFO Proof. You can pick up UFO Proof merchandise at Teespring. You can follow me on Twitter and Facebook, which I don't really even go on. You just give me money. Just, you know, donate to my PayPal. That's the best way. Just give me the fucking cash. Spread that shit out. Make it rain. You know, you can just fucking sign your fucking stimulus checks over to my ass. Just that's all you gotta do. Okay, fucking forward it to my place. I will appreciate that very much. Be a membership. You get membership. Get the cool little video perks. All that stuff in the background, all the bloopers and all the times I fuck up and all the other little funny skits that I do. It's all on there. You guys get to have that shit. What else? I think that's probably just give me money. That's it. Oh, like and subscribe and share it with your friends. And again,
send money.
Yeah, send money is the most important. Let's not forget that one. Okay,
Send it by PayPal so YouTube doesn't take their.
That's right, dude.
YouTube
wants their fucking. They want their fucking cut. Fuck their cut. I want it all because I'm so fucking greedy. Okay, I need every fucking penny of it. Fuck YouTube. Okay, I'll fuck their cut. But we will be back doing this again every Friday and Saturday. And probably around the same times, probably work the best, but yeah, so make sure you guys do that. Make sure you come and check out the next week's UAP roundtable with UFO Proof and a bunch of other assholes. And I want to see more Billy Idol videos of you. Oh yes, my Billy Idol video. That is a classic. UFO Proof. There's also a Freddie Mercury as one, and I'm sure there's somebody else. All right. Thank you guys for coming and joining me. I will see you guys next time. All right. UFO Proof out. All right. Later, you guys.
Bye.